Last one for the day. I don't want to overload the brain because that's a lot of change. Hello, 2020 vision, a lot of change. If we don't want to keep doing the same things or acquire these new habits like mask wearing. Okay, anyway. Fungicides. Anthony Williams, the medical medium, cleanse to heal. There was a day when cash money smelled like cash money. You probably can still remember from childhood the distinctive paper smell on a $5 bill, the smell of green. In the US, at least, that smell has been taken over by fungicides. We're not supposed to realize this. No one's supposed to know anything about it. And you'd never know because no one talks or writes about it. If you noticed that your cash from the ATM smelled different, you'd only think that the bank started adding a scent or perfume. That scent is the scent of fungicide. And if you pay attention, you'll find it gives your nose a little sizzle. When it's particularly strong, it can even make your chest tight. Chemical companies are somehow indoctrinating institutions and corporations into using fungicides on products of all kinds, even government products such as paper money. Clothing is a huge industry and another example of fungicide use. Most clothing today is laced with fungicides. Again, no one would know. You wouldn't know that's what you're smelling. You wouldn't know that you'd been exposed, and you wouldn't know how it could affect your health. You just think some sort of scent got into your new sweater from the store or warehouse. If you even noticed it, you'd go on about your day. Fungicides have a perfume-like scent. It may not have registered if you wear perfume, cologne, or scented body spray. If you wear clothes laundered with scented products, if air refresheners are present in your home, car, or place of work, or if you otherwise live surrounded by synthetic scents. These scents can sabotage your defense mechanism, your sense of smell. Woof. If you're shopping with a friend, and that friend is wearing perfume or cologne, you're not going to be able to smell the fungicides on the jacket you're trying on. It's when you eliminate the smells around you that are toxic, the conventional detergents and fabric softeners and air fresheners, scented candles, perfumes, and colognes, that you start to notice the fragrances around you. Your sense of smell becomes sharp, and you register that the money that just came out of the ATM or the shirt inside the package that just arrived is laced with fungicides. Life choice is taken away from the human race when it comes to this sort of chemical warfare. Chemical giants have learned how to sell their chemicals and keep it quiet, how to get their products into mainstream society without us questioning it, leaving us to be poisoned without our knowledge. Freedom of choice is gone. At the same time, we're repeatedly told that we have control over our choices. In this area, it isn't always true. Are fungicides one of the worst exposures we're up against? Yes, they actually are. Fungicides contain a tremendous amount of copper, a toxic heavy metal partially responsible for everybody's eczema and psoriasis. Have you noticed the explosion of eczema and psoriasis nowadays? Most everyone is developing it at some point in their life. And fungicides can be so strong on manufactured clothing that they send a child or adult to the doctor with complaints of headaches for weeks, with no one able to trace the problem back to that source. Fungicides make life more difficult when life is already tough enough. They get inside our brains, our bodies, mostly inside our livers, and denature cells, which weakens them. They break down the body's immune system defenses and serve as food for pathogens such as this over 60 varieties of Epstein-Barr and other viruses, even bringing us closer to a possible diagnosis in the future. A possible cancer diagnosis in the future, because certain aggressive strains of certain viruses are partly responsible for cancer. Whew, what a comfort in knowing why you were sick. Chemical companies have slid fungicides into so many different industries and products without telling the wider world. They make decisions and we don't get a say. Instead, we can try to avoid fungicides with all of our might, and it's very helpful to do so. The only way to do that is to become aware. It's hard to avoid It's hard to avoid them if we don't start to pay attention to that perfumey scent, and if we don't know where the fungicides can appear. Where do we need to watch out? Well, we know it's on paper money, so apparently it was sold to the government. We know it's often on clothing, so apparently it's been sold to the material and garment manufacturers. Sporting goods can be laced with fungicides. Brand new furniture can be laced with them. Cardboard boxes can now be coated with them. Paper goods can smell of them. They can be applied to car interiors. They can be on the outside of water bottles. And now dry cleaning can even be fungicide based. Damn. Because when I was living in mold, I was recommended to take everything that was possible to the dry cleaner to try to get rid of it. It was a lot of money. We end up eating them in our foods too, since fungicides are used on some crops. Plug-in air fresheners are also filled with fungicides. One reason why is that the moist, oily nature of chemical scented plug-in air fresheners means their mist coats every item in a home, including the walls and ceilings. They're so strong that they can even get inside walls and saturate them, sometimes seeping all the way through perimeter walls so that you can smell the air freshener from outside the house. This coating can trap moisture and breed mold. Fungicides are meant to help prevent mold and other fungus from growing in people's house as a result, which would seem like a worthy use of fungicides. Quite the contrary. Fungicides can create stronger molds, ones that mutate and can become immune to fungicides, making the mold impossible to stop. It's yet one more reason of many why use of air fresheners should be terminated. The fungicide applications we've covered are not exhaustive because the list is growing every day. You may start to notice the noxious perfume and nose sizzle of fungicides from other sources in your daily life. Sometimes we can avoid them. Sometimes we can keep those items out of our lives entirely. And sometimes we can't help that a fungicide-coated package was delivered, or that we're staying overnight in a scented hotel room. That's why we cleanse, because we don't have full control over every exposure and every way that industries pollute us. Do control what you can. If you have plug-in air fresheners, pull them out of the wall. Wash new clothes before wearing them. When you buy a new piece of furniture, put a blanket on it for weeks to absorb the worst of the fungicides, and then remove and wash that blanket several times. Small, thoughtful steps like these are part of your new survival system. Woo! Fungicides. Anthony Williams, the medical medium, cleanse to heal. Welcome to your new life, your new world, and your new health. I'll post this in my Alley HT series, and there's more. Gasoline is next. Pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, chemical fertilizer and lawn treatments, and radiation for tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not reading anymore because that shit is hard to take in. And even though luckily I've gone through like a 2-3 year cleanse of learning a lot of these things, but I didn't know the in-depth of it. And now I'm learning the in-depth of it, of how I got sick and how I got healed. And I'm going to tell everybody. So, fuck the system. I love you guys. Have a good day. Have a good week. So, fungicides, mercury, air fresheners, scents, all that stuff is what we're thinking, pondering, and changing in our life. So I got me some plants back there. I'm trying to grow my own food, survive on my own without drugs and hidden exposures. Or you just learn how to cleanse and you could still be exposed to these things like COVID-19 and not have to worry.